Matt Mackay on BBC Essex.
Let's go back a little bit. Last year on the programme, we spoke to Linda Clark and Kevin Stemp about their play Once a Year on Blackpool Sands, which premiered at Harlow Playhouse. Now, since then, it went to New York for an off-Broadway run and is now being made into a film. It's quite remarkable, and I'm very, very pleased to say that they're back in the studio with me this afternoon. Linda and Kevin, thank you for coming in.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
This is quite a story, really, isn't it? I mean, first of all, tell us a little bit about the play, what it's about, and where the idea came from.
Right. The writer, Carlton Paris, he's written this play. It's set in 1953. It's about two young gay Yorkshire miners in 1953. Obviously, at that time, homosexuality was illegal. They'd grown up together and fell in love as they got older. The only time they could ever really be together was during Wakes Week, when everything closed down and most people went to Blackpool. And that was the only time they would get a place together and away from their families, so that they could actually be together as a couple. They happened to rock up at this guest house, which was run by three very unusual ladies, but great characters. Also in that guest house, there was another guy called Mr. Elbridge, who was a transvestite. So he is quite central to the story as well. And his alter ego was a female called Phyllis. We did this, and it's a wonderful play. It's funny, it's very moving, and we had people in tears at the end because it resonated so much with some older people who'd gone through all these problems all those years ago.
And this is a true story, right?
It is a true story. Yeah. Yes, he met the real Eddie and Tommy 30 years later in the 80s in Mykonos. And he'd gone there, Carlton had gone there himself actually to get over the fact that his boyfriend had died from AIDS. And unfortunately, Eddie and Tommy were suffering from AIDS at that time and died not long after. But they told him this whole story about their background, about this wonderful time in Blackpool, about these characters, and how it actually, and Carlton would really love to think, and I think it probably is, it led to probably the first Pride Walk ever, with these 6 people.
Yeah.
And, and the 6 people in the cast, we are now in the film.
And Linda mentioned Wakes Week, and Wakes Week, for some of your listeners, I know that some of my friends weren't at all aware of what that meant. Wakes Week comes from Wakefield, and the major industries up north shut down for a week's holiday or a fortnight's holiday. So that's where you get the expression Wakes Week,
right,
or Glasgow Fortnight, where the shipbuilding industries shut down, Manchester Fortnight, the textile industry shut down. And this particular village in Yorkshire decided to go to Blackpool.
Right, I see. Okay.
I was going to say, with the when we were over in New York, we had film industry people come in to see it.
Whoa, we're going to get to that in just a moment.
Oh,
we're going to get to that in just because I was really interested to ask you what your parts are within this production and how you two got involved with it.
Well, I was in the play, and I played the part of Red Ethel, which was a fantastic character because she was an ex-music hall star, bearing in mind this was 1953. She'd been there, done it, and done everybody by the sounds of it at the same time. And she, at the time we meet her, she's recovering from a stroke. She's a lot weaker, but she's still got a mouth like a sewer, and was a wonderful character. Kevin is in the film. He plays you can say, yes.
I play the father of one of the young lads,
right.
Tommy. I'm Joey Price.
Right.
I'm quite a damaged man because I was trapped 782 feet below ground for 22 hours when a pit collapsed, and therefore I don't go down the mine anymore. I'm a bit of a broken man, and I hide it well behind a pint of beer in the local workman's club. But I'm a broken man, and I know there's something going on with my son, but I can't quite put my finger on it.
So you're involved with the film, which is being shot at the moment, isn't it?
Yes.
But you didn't actually you weren't involved with the actual production in the play.
No, I wasn't.
Right, okay.
No.
I see. So it premiered at Harlow Playhouse.
Yes.
Why Harlow Playhouse? How did that come about?
Harlow's my hometown, and the rest of the tour had already been set, but Carlton was saying it would be nice if we could go somewhere else. So
down south, yeah.
Yes, especially down south. So I had a word with people at Harlow Playhouse, and they very kindly agreed to do a joint production. So, so it premiered in my hometown, and to great audiences and lovely feedbacks, which was wonderful.
And great for you, presumably, to have it, in your hometown in Harlow.
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely. They were so good. The theatre were absolutely brilliant.
So it went on to be. Well, it went to New York, just off Broadway. How does it go from? I mean, I assume that this doesn't happen that often, really, for a production, especially an independent production that goes on a UK tour that then suddenly goes to an off-Broadway show, although you were just telling me that actually technically it still was on Broadway.
Well, Carlton had taken his plays over there before.
Yeah.
So he wasn't new to going to New York, but they'd gone into festivals or they'd gone off Broadway,
right, but
never just off Broadway, which was fantastic. And so that's how he got over there, which is how we got over there. But then, as I say, from then, it went wider. We had film industry people.
A lot of momentum started picking
there was a
up
lot
there.
of momentum.
And was that mostly off the back of it being in New York, or is it quite often that? Because I think there was talk of it becoming a film before it even got out to New York.
There was always talk of it becoming a film, but the momentum came from being in New York, where he met up with the people afterwards that had been. We had no idea they were in watching, and they'd been told about it. They came, they had a chat, and they gave him lots of advice about it. Bearing in mind, this is an independent film, so it was going to cost money to make, and they were going to have to try and find the money from somewhere. In actual fact, Carlton was offered quite a lot of money for the screenplay. And he turned it down.
Full of integrity there.
Yeah.
Wanting to keep to his version
Yep.
and his belief and his ownership.
That's
of his
the thing,
baby.
isn't it? You sell it to somebody else, it gets turned into something that maybe isn't
Totally.
quite your idea of what it should have been in the first place. And I guess that
The original play had, I think it was 6, wasn't it, Linda? 6 people?
Six in the
Six
cast.
cast, yeah. So now there's over 100.
Oh, there's loads
in
more
this, in this new film that we're making.
because it's been opened out.
Yeah.
There were things that were spoken about on stage from the boys and from the transvestite Mr. Elbridge. We now actually see in the film, so we see the whole backstory of the boys.
Fantastic.
And it's wonderful. And I mean, I've only seen stills from some of the shoots, but it looks amazing. And so we've got that. The families are opened out. So we see, and this is where I say Kevin comes in, and all these other people who are so enthusiastic about the film that because we actually, as I say, he was offered a lot of money. He didn't take it. So therefore, Carlton has been using his own money to make this independent film. Funds are running a bit low at the moment. So having got some in the can, we're now trying to get some. We've got an Indiegogo sort of one going, crowdfunding scene going.
Yeah, I was going to say, you've got a crowdfunding
We have
page
and-
set up,
Platform, yes.
presumably.
And
Yeah.
on that page, it tells you all about the film. It tells you all the background to the film, and it's such a wonderful story. He's also got one going in America, it's a Pink Start one that's going in America, hoping to catch people out there wanting to invest in this. He's wanting also for LGBT communities, companies, clubs to get behind it as well.
Getting
if
that
they
momentum,
can.
and that's what's been doing it well in the United States.
Yes.
It's been picking up there with those communities,
Yeah.
and we're trying to get that out as well as a message.
In
to
terms of
people.
then where the filming is at the moment, I mean, where are we up to? I mean, is funding such an issue at the moment that filming's had to halt for the
No.
time being,
No,
or is
no.
it
It
still,
hasn't-
it's still ongoing?
It's still
Just
on.
needs that
It's
little
still
bit
on.
more for the
It's
end.
still ongoing.
Yeah.
But we need more to finish off the filming, but also for doing all the post-production, all the publicity that's going to be going on with it. It's such a wonderful film. It's such a wonderful story, and
Yeah.
it's a wonderful message. Because even now, everything that they come up against, yes, it's so much better now. But there are still issues and there are still problems. People who want to come out and be themselves, a la Phyllis, who who he'd gone there to Blackpool every year, but had never plucked up the courage to do the fabled transvestite walk from North to South Pier, and he only got round to doing it when, with these other 5 characters from the play, the real characters from the play, supported him and walked out that door.
Why don't you tell Matt about some of the initiatives that we're going on now?
Yes,
the Phyllis Walk.
Yes, what's happening now is we've got this mantra going, I walk with Phyllis.
Yeah.
And we've got people doing little videos, and we've got saying, I'm so-and-so, and I walk with Phyllis. We've got people like Stephen Arnold from Coronation Street, Julia Hayth from Coronation Street. Andy Wyman from Coronation
Village
Street.
people.
Will Mellor. Over for the American people, we've got the Village people. We've got Frankie Faison, who's absolutely huge.
Wow,
over there. And they've all done this. I am and I walk with Phyllis, and we are getting this going. All these little videos will be popping up on the publicity. We want people to get behind this, because what we're saying is, we walk with Phyllis. We are supporting you if you need to come out and be yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
And to that end, all these wonderful people who are in the northern-based people who are in the film, a group of them have got together. They're going to do a variety show, and they are going to the proceeds.
Where's it?
From
Bradford.
That's in Bradford.
Yeah.
And the proceeds from that will be going
towards
the film.
getting the film. Yeah.
Yes. And there are going to be I Walk with Phyllis walks. There's one in Leeds, in Bradford, and they're hoping to get that out there so that they can involve all the LGBT communities up there as well.
It's so much more than just a film coming out, isn't it?
It's got some
it's something
key themes and messages.
Yeah, absolutely. It really is. And I assume, Kevin, you're filming in Wakefield and Blackpool, is that right?
We're going to be filming near Bradford at a place called Idle. There's the important bus scene where the village departs, and we've got this real old charabanc that we're going to be leaving in from a workman's club, all set up. We've had some fantastic scenes already shot up there with a disused colliery, and that's being used in the trailer of the film, with the miners coming off duty, being met by the women of the village, etc. And then obviously the pinnacle of this will be around Blackpool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Going there once we're actually on holiday.
Depending on funding, obviously, which is such an important part of this, as it always is, but is there an ideal release date for this film? Is there something that's been penciled in, or is it and when it gets
penciled in at this moment is a screening in November.
We've got 2, haven't we? We've got one in Hebden Bridge. I think it's the very end, and don't quote me exactly, but I think it's about the 26th, 27th of November.
I think it's the 26th of
and
November.
then at the beginning of December,
2nd of December,
we're going to be red carpeted in Los Angeles.
Oh, wow.
Yep,
you don't do things by halves, do you?
Well, this is it.
So we've got a lot of backing there, and that's what's taken that off.
But yes, sort of not maybe so much the monetary backing, unfortunately, but there is a lot of
people
enthusiasm over there. And, a lot of the cast want to go over. They're paying their own fares to go over and to help to promote this film.
It's incredibly exciting. It really is.
It is.
There's just that little bit left to get, in terms of the funding and things, just to get over the finish line. And then when it's done, it sounds like it's going to be just incredible when the film finally comes out. Where can people find out more about this? Is there a website, or do you know the crowdfunding page offhand, or?
Yes, I can.
Oh, I tell you what. Actually, I've got the crowdfunding link in front of me. It's not really one that we could say on air very easily, as it?
No,
lots of letters.
I was wondering if you have a website that people can.
Of course, we will. We will tweet and put that on our social media so people can see that.
Yes, and all the information about the film and the story is on that website.
It's on there.
Which would be
Baby Dog Films.
Oh, and also the actual company is www.babydogfilms.co.uk. So that also contains that as well. There are various degrees on the website. So if there are any sort of LGBT companies who would like to be associate producers or certainly be name checked on the film at various points. If they would like to contribute, that would be
To
fantastic.
get involved, that's just key. Yeah.
Do get in touch, indeed. Thank you. Well, look, I mean, last year you came here when you were just launching it. Now you're here, and it's been to New York and being turned into a film. Will you come back and see us next year when it's
We'll tell you our story.
when you've won Oscars and things
Post-production.
like? Yeah.
That would be fantastic.
Linda Clark and Kevin Stemp, thank you very, very much for
Thank you for
joining me
having
this
us
afternoon.
again.
Thank you.
Matt Mackay on BBC Essex.